going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Xtreme Nights. Today's episode, we're working with G Money. We're going to talk about 93.7. We're going to talk about the current state of hip-hop. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to start off this episode with him talking about what happened with 93.7, the stuff that went on with him there. If you're not from the CT area, 93.7 is a radio station, the biggest radio station around here. Get into that first. So let's get rolling with the interview. What's going on with you and 93.7, brother?
I don't work there anymore. Point blank, period. As you said, all the events, you never hear anything. They all go well.
Yeah.
Which they, always do. There's but a lot of the shows are competitions.
Yeah.
One artist where we took it up to New York, and they rap for like DJ Self and things like that. And then the winner of that competition was going to get a live interview on Shade 4-5, and he didn't like how the event went down. Even though that particular event wasn't ran by me, I was just a plug to make it happen and go over there.
Yeah.
They did my event, won my event, and then I got the opportunity to go to New York to do the rest. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like the way that it went down, so they went on, Facebook Live and, bashed me real hard, saying, oh, I stole their money at the event. They promised a whole bunch of stuff and then go down how it was. And then they got off the topic of me and they got on the radio station and started, bashing and shitting on them real bad. Saying, Hot 93 don't do anything for the local artists. All they do is take people's money and da-da-da, you know what I mean? So it got up to corporate, which we're not CBS Radio anymore. It's now Intercom. You know what I mean?
They got bought out, huh?
Yeah. As CBS as a whole got bought out. You know what I mean? So, that transaction happened, and then my incident happened. You know what I mean? So you got to think about a company that just bought all these radio stations for like damn near $1 billion, and then come into this and then find out that a part-timer who's not even under contract and stuff like that is having these hassles. And then, but it went a little bit farther than that, and it got into kind of like a legal situation because I ran into them dudes I was talking on that junk. And again, I'm from Hartford, so I'll just leave that there.
I appreciate you talking about it with us, man.
What's up? Y'all the first to know too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been since my last. I tell you, my last time on the radio was Martin Luther King Day, that Monday. I mean, that was on January 15th or something like that. That was my last show on the radio. I was suspended after that for a while until they made the decision. And I think by the time February came, they just made the decision to let me go. So I haven't been on the radio since January. And I haven't said a thing. People still assume I'm up there. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. I really haven't went and made this big, huge announcement and stuff like that. Like, there's no problem between me and Hot 93.7. It wasn't a Hot 93.7 decision.
Yeah.
It was a corporate decision. There was people in New York that don't even know me from anybody else that just saw like, oh, this guy might have us in a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's just a part-timer and things like that. Like, he's causing too much trouble. Let him go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't know about 37 awards. I think I got the number right. 37 awards for the community service that I've done.
Crazy.
In New England. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're the only one out here.
I have my own day in Hartford.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and they talking about I'm
like,
causing too much trouble. Like, so I think they totally got it wrong, but I'm no one to fight.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 13th episode of Xtreme Nights, Xtreme Magazine. Boom, 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 boom. We got the Prince, my man G Money in the building.
Thank you for having
What's
me.
going on? Appreciate
no
it.
technical difficulties this time, man.
No technical difficulties this
what
time.
What did I promise you? I told you I'm coming live and direct this time, man.
This episode is sponsored by the CBD Spot. CBD Spot is going to be opening in June in Bristol, Connecticut. You think us as old cats is giving them a chance, or you think that like a lot of people that are older is not giving these younger cats their respect?
You know what? It happens every generation, and I just say us old dudes, man, we just need to chill because the same thing that our parents was telling us when hip hop came out that. Oh, they not even singing, they just talking.
Yeah.
And this ain't even real music. What's just hollering and all this stuff like that. When we thought it was so dope. Like, what you mean? You ain't listening to these lyrics and stuff like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this gangster is right outside. They telling the story. Right? And we thought our parents was crazy because they couldn't mess with it. Now, we done turned into them bitter old dudes.
Yeah.
We done... Y'all gotta look yourselves in the mirror, man. We done turned into them bitter old dudes, and now we telling them, we don't even understand what y'all saying. Y'all mumbling. You know what I'm saying? This ain't real music. I don't care about lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this what the kids like? Hip-hop has always been a young man's game.
It has.
Always been a young man's game, and it's always been for the kids, so let these kids do their thing, man. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
either you try your best to stay young and stay hip,
Yeah.
or you get up out the way. That's all.
Yeah. It don't bother me as much as it bother other people, yo.
Right.
Like, I'll be banging the shit out of this garbage. I don't know what the fuck they be saying. Shot. It's always been good to have different kinds of hip hop. It can't just be one kind of hip hop.
But that's why we always say that the '90s is like the golden era, like
Yeah.
for us and everything. That's our favorite year. But
Yeah.
we need to take a step back too, because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As we said, there's different levels of hip hop, and that's why we love the '90s, because everything wasn't Jay-Z being a hustler.
Yeah.
Everything wasn't as lyrical as Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We also had rappers that was using the jazz influence, like Tribe and you know what I'm saying, all this stuff. Like Common was speaking differently than a lot of rappers, and then here came the South, the '90s. Like who was these Outkast cats? And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the thing that we loved about the '90s is there was space for all that.
Yeah.
Everybody got to do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when it was getting soft, then here comes this dude DMX. Who's this? Who did his first video in complete black and white in the dark in the club, real grimy. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he brought it back to the streets. Like, we had a lane and room for everything. From Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, you know what I'm saying, doing those happy-go-lucky songs, you know what I'm saying, feel-good songs, funny songs, to, what's my man, Biz Markie, you know what I'm saying, Picking Boogers. And so, like, yo, let's not act like everything in the 90s was Jay-Z, Nas, and Big, and Pop. You know what I'm saying? And Mobb Deep, right. Let's not act like everything was that. We just had room, space, and acceptance for more back then.
You think it's like that now, or you think that ever since the South like really hit, they had a grip on it?
Right.
How do you think that space is now? Do you think that's the same space?
No, it's a copycat business. You know what I mean? Everybody's goal is to be on the radio, to be popular, to make millions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep doing it, but go back to the '90s. Like, people really made the music that they wanted to make.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, you love it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we just accepted it, and there was a lane for all type of different things. But now, to be popular, to be heard, to do that, like if you in your teens, you got to be making the drug music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you in your 20s, you got to be making hype music. You know what I'm saying, for the club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Everything sounds the same. Like you can take Future from Atlanta, and then take Panda Dude from New York, and then you'd be like,
it's the same
crap.
person.
You know what I'm saying? This is not quote unquote New York hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yet everybody is trying to sound like that.
Do you think that the internet was one of the causes of the sound bleeding?
Of course, because it's now global. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because remember, New York sounded like New York because that's all we heard. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop started in the park. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You just go down there and you see how Cass is rapping, from Melly Mel to wherever you want to go back to, and you be like, all right, that's how Cass in New York is doing. This is how we sound. This is our lingo. This is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go down to D.C., it's go-go music. You know what I'm saying? Like, they doing something totally different. Like, they got their own thing down there. They dress different, all that. That was down there in D.C. back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You go down to Miami, what's this booty-based stuff? You know what I'm saying? Until Uncle Luke made it popular, and then, you know what I'm saying? So it's like every different area had a thing. I think Chicago is one of the only places that still has their own thing with the whole drill music, Chief Keefs and all them dudes, you know what I'm saying? But
Chief Keef.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All that drill music.
Damn.
Lil Bibby, they got a whole bunch of, dudes that's doing it, but that's their Chicago thing and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But
That's just all right.
Connecticut, for us, we don't have our own sound, our own style, our own lingo, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. We just get roped into being like little New York or something, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to everybody. What's up? Thank you. Hi. Sorry we far back. I can't really see everybody. But I want to back up a little bit. You said CT and then you said lingo. It was the same word, but they mean different things in different spots. Mm-hmm. Is that the same now, or is it more of everything is all...
Everything is everything now, because, like I said, everything bleeds. Like in Connecticut, in the Northeast, we didn't call police 12, and that's because of, like, the district and how they did that. You know what I'm saying? Because they have different areas. You know, it's my second home. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be in zone 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying? And then, because of the district, it was 12, so that's why they called the police from that precinct 12. You know what I'm saying?
So now that's what they call them around?
So now everybody calls police 12, or they call them ops.
I know about the ops.
Ops with, without the C for cops. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But, once again, that's not a Connecticut thing. I think words, I think words that we had was like offy.
CT game right now. I'm not in touch with it as I used to be.
Right.
I used to know every artist in Connecticut. I used to know what they sound like.
Yeah.
I used to know who they recorded with. I used to know who they engineered with.
Yeah.
I used to know who their backing was. I used to know what block they was on. Like, everybody sound the same.
Everybody sound the same in CT as they do pretty much across the world, man. So, like I said, it's so hard to even separate some of these artists now. You know, sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, even me, being the one that kind of like pushing the CT artist, sometimes I can't even tell who it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one, that's because it's so many.
Yeah.
It's so flooded right now where everybody thinking they can do it.
I bet.
And then two, I mean, it's a copycat business, as I said. So,
Yeah.
and, you know, me and you both trying to be popular, so we both trying to sound like the Migos because that's what's hot.
That's what's
Oh,
hot.
we both trying to sound like Drake.
I don't get that shit.
It was definitely a different time, brother.
I was doing Drake before Drake did Drake.
That's big facts. Y'all been do y'all homework, man.
Do your homework, kid, but let's not even get it. I don't want to talk about it. People that's watching that's not in CT.
Yeah.
They might not know. They call you the Prince of CT for a reason.
Yeah.
You are the man behind all of these CT shows. How easy is that? How hard is that?
It's an honor for people to look up to me, you know what I'm saying? Or to put me in that position, on that pedestal, if you will, to be like, yo, gee, yo, we need you to help us get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I take that personal. I'm thankful for that. And that's kind of like, even when I was at the radio doing all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, all these major artists come through here. I talk to all these labels every day because they want their records spin and things like that. And I see the difference between what those artists are doing and who's behind them.
Yeah.
And then what we're lacking here in CT.
Yeah.
And that was always my thing, like, yo, maybe I just gotta be that guy, yo, to like bridge that gap, you know what I'm saying? Help these cats be like, yo, y'all, you know, y'all think y'all doing y'all thing, y'all really not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta see how these major artists are working and what's behind them, and you know what I'm saying? You sleep right now. Dudes ain't sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These dudes, your favorite artists, not sleep. You know what I'm saying? Right. Exactly. You don't even know the half of what it took for them to even get to that position. And when they at that position, they even start working harder because they never want to lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to answer your question there, it's hard. It is not easy. It's hard. And the reason why it's hard is because, unlike sports, we have nobody that made it to the pinnacle where we could be like, okay, they made it, so now I can make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They made it, this is how they made it, so let me follow suit. They do have a different level, a different work ethic, and they have, like you said, like that there's something about them that can be sold. I tell this story a lot. Last year I went down to Houston for the Super Bowl, right? When it was the Falcons and the Patriots.
Oh shit, good game.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I was there. When I was booking my flight, I was amazed that there are 2 airports in the city of Houston. 2 airports in one city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2 airports in one city.
Yeah.
Like, the hell? Who needs 2 airports in one city, right?
Yeah.
Then when I landed, that first caught me off guard. When I landed, right, I got the Uber. I put in the address for my hotel. I hit the Uber dude like, yo, something must be wrong, right? My hotel says it's in Houston, but it's 45 minutes away. He was like, let me see. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got me thinking, like, and I asked him, I was like, yo, man, this is crazy. How big is Houston? He said, to drive from one side of Houston to the other takes an hour. And then I started comparing. I was like, yo, you know where you could get in an hour from Connecticut? I mean, from Hartford? You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere.
So think about it.
Yeah.
Let's just shorten it for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Let's just take from Hartford to Bridgeport.
Yeah.
You could drive from Hartford to Bridgeport and still be in Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that got me thinking, man, there's about 1 million artists in CT. So how many are in Houston?
Fuck, 7
How many are in Texas?
Yeah.
That takes a day to drive through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that just got me thinking, like, yo, Connecticut artists, you gotta stop competing with the dude on the next block.
Yeah.
If you really want to be in this big game, like, you gotta understand how many artists there are in the United States and across the world that can write music, that can make songs, that can do the same thing as you do, but is in a better position because they work it 5 times harder than you.
It's location too.
It is. And with that being said, I'll tell you 2 little things real quick, right? An A&R from California, he told me, he was like, yo, G-Money, man, it's great what you're doing out there, but let me ask you this seriously, right? Big record label, California, right? He asked me seriously. He was like, me, being who I am at this record label, why in the hell would I sign somebody from Connecticut when I could just get somebody from New York?
Yeah.
I couldn't argue that.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't say anything. That's how I sounded on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Then another A&R, he was from New York. He was like, yo, G, I've been in Connecticut a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
I know if I go to Hartford, New Haven, or Bridgeport, if I ain't acting right, I could lose my life that day.
Yeah.
I know that because I'm in New York.
Yeah.
But there's nobody else in the world outside of the Northeast that actually believe that Connecticut is as real as it is. You know what I'm saying? Because the picture of Connecticut is the rich Greenwich Gold Coast cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? Yell. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, you tell somebody, you go out of town and tell somebody you're from Connecticut, you're gonna get two things. One, there's black people there, and two, oh, you must be rich. And I'm like, oh shit, you have no idea about Hartford. The artist I think has a good chance of making it is Annoyed because he's not doing that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's real lyrical. Yeah. His favorite artist is Nas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can tell in his music how he writes, how he spits. He's one of those artists where we used to have to go back and rewind stuff to be like, the hell did he say? Like, oh, that's dope. Let me put that together. How he did those concepts. He's one of those artists, and it's not about, you know, painting that picture of Hartford being, you know what I'm saying, the worst city in the world. Yeah. He's not on that. You know what I'm saying? He don't even say that he's necessarily from Bloomfield. He's just like, yo, I'm from Connecticut. Yeah. I'm dope. Let me spit. You know what I'm saying? And then judge me after that. You know what I'm saying?
How long did it take you to get from G Money right here to G Money right here?
A little while. People don't know my story. I got into the radio business, or got to the station by accident. I was at school. I went to Johnson & Wales University, J-Woo, Providence, was happening. You know what I'm saying? I went there. I did sports entertainment management. That's what's my background was sports. I went there to play basketball. And I said if I couldn't make it to the NBA, I at least want to work in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was my whole goal. I actually had an externship. It's like an internship, but when you leave school, it's like your last thing you have to do is you go out the door. I had my externship lined up with a professional NBA team 2 weeks prior. 2 weeks prior to me leaving school and heading out there and everything like that, it fell through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It fell through. The housing that we was all the new interns were supposed to stay in for the summer, they were having a going away party. The old interns that was there, and the place caught on fire.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, it caught on fire. You know what I mean? So then I was left in a position where I had to be like, okay, what do I do now? Yeah. And coming back into Connecticut, we don't have much sports. I mean, the Whalers were gone. You know what I'm saying? And even the sports teams that we did have, like the Rockcats and things like that, they already had their interns filled. So I had to look to the entertainment side of things. And God bless my brother, Kev Brown. It's my big bro. We went to school together, everything. He hit me up and he was like, yo, why don't you just do it at the station?
That's what's up.
The radio? Like, I don't know nothing about no radio and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, you don't have to because you're going to be doing like street team side, you know what I mean? And you're going to be dope with the marketing and all that stuff. With your personality, you're like, don't worry about a thing. I'm going to get you in there. So, sure enough, I started as an intern. I did street team stuff. Loved it, you know what I mean? And then it just went from there, man. They just loved my personality. And it was like, yo, your personality is too crazy and you're too loved in these streets to just be on the street team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to the point where, like, we would go, like, store appearances and things like that, and the owner would call, like, yo, send the G-Money dude, like, to do the street team and stuff like that. They were asking for me personally and stuff. They was like, yo, we got to bottle this up and sell it a different way. So they taught me radio. I actually used to street team at the club, like, back when Hippodrome was popping. Yeah. So I mean, at Hippodrome, doing the street team stuff till the club closed at 2. And then I would race all the way back at 3 in the morning. To do the show. 3 in the morning. Yeah. I did 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning just to learn how to do radio on the spot. I didn't go to school for it and stuff. No Connecticut school of broadcasting like everybody else.
I thought you went to CB.
Nah, I didn't go CSB. Like, I just learned live on the spot, and that's why they put me on some god-awful hours, so that if I mess up or anything, at least it's at 4 a.m. instead of 4 in the afternoon. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I learned trial by fire, and then everything else just started coming. I mean, it was funny because I was street teaming, and I would do, speaking of Bristol, it was Sports Rock. Yeah. In the bowling alley, that used to be crazy. Kid Fresh used to host it, and he used to be like, yo, man, I gotta run to my truck here, take the mic. No, I'm supposed to do with this, like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean? Like, hey, here's like just playing around with it became, alright, now I'm G-Money. Now you give me the mic and I'm making a show out of this. You know what I'm saying? So everything was trial by fire with me, and
I guess I'm just a blessed young man where it just actually fell into place, you know what I'm saying? Because they always say, you know, you ever want to make God laugh, just tell him what your plans are.
Yo, BKS, what up? Roll call, roll call. What up, my nigga? Yo, shout out to CBD Spot. Boom, boom, boom. My brother, appreciate you doing this interview with us.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Shout out to Xtreme magazine. Xtreme is all over the place.
Shout out everybody.